wife talk. That's what today's video is all about. Welcome if you're new here to this space, to my channel. If you haven't already, would you please just subscribe right below, like this video, give it a thumbs up, show me some love. It literally means so much. So thank you guys for those who do comment, like, and have subscribed. Thank you so much. I'm just really liking this community that I'm forming, and it's a really special place. So today's video is about wife talk. I thought this mug would be super fitting. I'm actually not even drinking anything hot. I'm drinking my homemade cold brew that I'll tag right here. I have made a video about it, and it's seriously so easy and so yummy. This time, this cold brew, I actually added in some cinnamon, vanilla extract, and some coconut sugar and let that seep while the cold brew sat, and it's really, really tasty and like a little bit sweet and But I had to use this mug today, my wife mug, as I talk about, as you can see from the title, wife talk. Today is gonna be something a little bit different. So far on my channel, I've shared a lot about life overseas and motherhood and cooking, and these are big passions in my life. When starting this channel, a big part is I talked about intentional living. And so I really am feeling passionate about this lately. Just sharing about what does an intentional life look like. And for what that looks like with me, it's my relationship with Jesus is number one, and then it's Garrett and my marriage, and then it's my children, and then everything else in the world, like and the list goes on. But it's God, my marriage, and then my children, my child. So far only one, but those are the orders to me of what's most important. And I am just feeling so passionate lately about sharing about habits and things that I have placed in my life to help me be more productive, help me have more peace, things that have worked out really well for me. Like, I've only been married for 5 years, but just some rhythms and practices and habits that I have placed it's just been a really sweet outcome, praise the Lord. And I would just want to share those with you guys. So here are 5 things that I do for my husband. As you can see from this title, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I do for my husband. And this isn't in any way to portray that I like have all my crap figured out and that I'm this like perfect wife and I have the perfect husband and do this and this and this and you're going to have the most best marriage ever. Like, no, not at all. I have only been married for 5 years. I've been with Garrett for 10 years of my life, and they have been the sweetest times of my life. I just really am getting passionate about sharing what an intentional life looks like. When I first created this space, I shared with you guys that I wanted to share intentional living and what does that look like. And this is a big part of it, is my marriage, and how can we use our marriage to honor the Lord, but also be an example to others. I absolutely love being a wife, and it's really special to me that I get this role, but I am not just a wife. That is not who I am. It is just a part of who I am. And if you're married and you're listening, or maybe you're a young woman and you want to be married one day, I hope that this video can be an encouragement to you and something that you can take some notes of on how to be a wife that honors and respects her husband. There's so much in society right now. I see a lot on social media of these women just like bashing their husbands and like they're not pulling their weight and like, oh, I get home and they do this when I get home from work, and I think it's so tiring and it's so sad to me, honestly. Like, I really just want to encourage women out there and wives out there to honor their husbands and to respect them and to seriously be their biggest cheerleader. And doing that, you're just gonna have like a really sweet marriage, and the relationship that can grow from encouragement and love and honor and respect is just so beautiful. So with that said, cheers. And here's my list of 5 things I do for my husband. First up is I encourage my husband. So if you haven't already, I would really encourage you encourage everyone today. Encourage you to figure out what your spouse's, what's your partner's love language. And for Garrett, that's words of encouragement. So I learned this many years ago. And so I make it a priority to use my words to lift him up, to encourage him. And honestly, it's not easy for me. It's not easy for me to give words of encouragement. And so what I have done is I have set a reminder on my phone. I know it sounds crazy and silly, and I wish it just like popped up in my brain, but I have made it a priority to try to tell him at least once a day something that's genuinely something that I see in him that I want to encourage him with. Words of affirmation. How can I uplift Garrett today? Like, what's something that he did that I want to recognize? So I have a reminder on my phone, and it dings, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have it, encouraged him today. And so I encourage you guys to do that. If it doesn't come super natural to you, like I know just some people, every other word is just like a word of encouragement. What does encouraging look like every single day? Sometimes it's just like, thanks so much for taking the time to mow the lawn today. Hey, I've been seeing you've been working out more, like great job taking priority of your health, or so forth. Like it can be something quite simple, but just to like look at them in the eyes and acknowledge them and encourage them, and like seriously being their biggest cheerleader, it goes a long way. Number 2 is putting his needs before my own. This is something that obviously is really hard. It's very sacrificial, but it has been a joy over the years to serve Garrett, and I love serving him as his wife. And Garrett is really phenomenal at this. So if every day, Garrett always says this, if every day you wake up and I think, what can I do to serve Garrett in the best way? What can I do to put his needs today before my own? And Garrett wakes up and he does that for me. I mean, like, think of what an amazing day you're gonna have. And it's not, you don't have that, you're not looking at what I can get for today. You're not trying to one-up each other all day long. It's me laying down my life that day for Garrett any way that I can. Wanting to serve Garrett and putting his needs before my own is a beautiful act of love. And choosing that mindset, choosing that perspective to look at the day at how can I best serve Garrett, really encourage you to try it tomorrow, try it right now, just looking and seeking ways to serve your spouse. Number 3 is intimacy. And I'm not just talking about sex, okay? So I'm not just talking about the bedroom, not just talking about your sex life, but being intimate. Like, Garrett and I have really found that word to be a lot more than sex. And I think so many people just think about sex and intimacy is sex, but intimacy is closeness, spending quality time. Yes, it does involve sex, but over the years, just learning like what it means to be intimate with your partner and how that's not just sex. I think for a long time I thought that being intimate was it needed to have some sexual activity, and really figuring that out with Garrett, what that means to like have a constantly intimate relationship, but that doesn't mean you need to be having sex all the time. And so that's been a really like beautiful journey to figure out with Garrett. So what does it mean to be intimate with your partner? And for us, that can be taking a night here and there and lighting some candles, snuggling up close on the couch, turning off our phones, no TV, and just like having genuine, really good conversations with each other and spending quality time. That can really bring Garrett and I close to each other, and I just cherish those times and memories. We're definitely still learning that journey of intimacy, but it's been really beautiful to experience. Number 4 is keeping him updated. And we are both quite busy with both of our jobs and then raising Millie, that it's hard to find time to like get on the same page, right? You might think I'm a little bit crazy and maybe unnecessary, but something that works amazing for Garrett and I is we have a weekly planning night where we sit down and we just take 45 minutes and we get on the same page, and we get together once a week and we talk about these things that we want to plan, who we want to have over for dinner. We look at our finances, and then we just talk about goals for parenting. We talk about where we're at with our walk with the Lord. Also just a time to update him about my life, things that I've been thinking of. Obviously we share with each other apart from this meeting, but it's like a time during the week that we know we can sit down and like talk for hours about things. And having it planned and an expectation that I have every single week, I really, really enjoy it. So just giving this time to Garrett and Garrett giving this time to me so we can, get adjusted in the week and figure out what needs to happen. So I would maybe even label this one communication, and what that looks like at Garrett and I's season in life right now, that's having a weekly planning meeting to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. This has been really beneficial for Garrett and I to have this weekly meeting, but yeah, it's improved our communication and our calendars syncage like a lot. And so yeah, I thought I would share that with you guys, and something that I do for my husband to just aid in our communication. situation. Number 5 is letting him help. And so this one has not come easy for me, but it's something that I really strive to do. And so I really did want to put it in there. It is something I do for Garrett, but that does not mean that it's come easy for me. I am a wife, I am a mother, and so letting him help. I feel like I'm constantly 5 steps ahead of him. I've thought about this. Like, I'm sure probably not all mothers are like this or all wives are like this, but I think it's like naturally ingrained in a lot of women that we are the planners, we're on top of things. You know, I've thought about plan A, B, C, D, E, and Garrett's like, well, if A doesn't work out, you know, we'll see what happens, or whatever that may look like. Like, he's not always like that. But really approaching our marriage, but it's like taken another step when we became parents of this is a team aspect and we're team players and we're on a team. Like, Garrett is my team and we're teammates. And I'm not the leader, I'm not the head coach or whatever. But we're doing this together. And so letting him have an equal part in parenting, letting him help, letting him do his best, letting him assess a situation and me not step in and like be the boss over it, even though I've probably already thought about, like I said, like A, B, C, D, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna do this. It's like keeping my mouth shut and, okay, not always, but doing my best to just let him handle a situation maybe differently than the way I would have planned or have wanted it to happen, but giving him an opportunity to help and like take charge in that situation is really empowering. I've seen like for Garrett and for our marriage, and he's trying to do the best that he can. And so, you know, not even just sitting back and like not saying much, but encouraging him as I see him like do his best and pull his part in like being a father. And it's been really, really beautiful to watch. And a lot of people tell me like, wow, you are so trusting of Garrett, you know, like with Millie or da-da-da. It's like, okay, I've never been a parent before. Like, this is all new to me. Like, this is the first time, like, who am I to, like, be better than Garrett? And so, yeah, when Millie was first born, so many people were so surprised I was letting him, like, babysit her, like, when she was just a few weeks old, if I, like, ran to the store or something. And it's like, he's just as capable as I am. And so just really supporting that and not undermining him and not belittling him to think that he's not capable to do some of those things that may become a little bit more natural to me or so forth. Letting your partner help, I think, can be really encouraging, really big boost of self-esteem. And so this is something I've seen in Garrett when I just freely let him come in and handle a situation or like do something his way. It's just a great way to support and encourage your spouse. Well, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little wife talk with me. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and I really want to share more on this space about what is intentional living, and my marriage is really high up there for me. And what it means for me to have an intentional life is to like work hard at my marriage and to put in habits and routines in there to help in a more beautiful relationship and one that can be encouraging to others around me. These are things that are really important to me that I'm really excited to share in this space. So if you like this video, if you want to hear more mom talks, wife talks, marriage talks, please give this video a like and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye.